Next, I'm going to add the Swagger documentation for the other microservices as well. So let me start with the staff service microservice. Next, I'm going to add the Swagger documentation for the order service microservice also. we have added the Swagger documentation for all our microservices. This is the Swagger documentation for customer service microservice. And this is the documentation for staff service microservice. And this is the documentation for order service microservice. So let's go to these documentations and let's check these endpoints one by one. So the first one it lists here, I'm in the customer service microservice documentation. The first one is get a customer by ID. So if we expand this, we can see it is expecting parameter of ID, and then the response could be either 200 okay. In that case, customer is available in the database, and it will show the response in this format, which is the customer DTO class format. And if there is no customer available, we will get the message, and it is for the 404 customer not found scenario. Let's look at the next endpoint. So this is the update a customer. So here also it expects a parameter, the customer ID, and also we need to pass the customer data in the request body, and the format is of type customer DTO class, and the responses are either 200 when there is a customer available, and when the customer was successfully updated in the database. So we will get this response in the structure of the customer DTO object, and it's possible that the input is invalid. In that case, it will be a invalid input with status code of 400, and if there is no customer available in the database, the status code will be 404, and that's for the customer not found. So let's look at the delete endpoint. Here we are passing a customer ID, and when there is a customer available and it is successfully deleted, it's the status code is 200, and but in this case it's showing as the response is giving in the format of customer DTO. But if we go to the controller, let's go to the customer controller. In our customer controller, for the delete customer endpoint, we are returning a response entity of type string, and it's giving a message customer with ID deleted successfully. So we have to modify our Swagger documentation annotation we added on top of the delete customer endpoint to show the correct response type instead of the customer DTO. So, and in addition to that, let's look at the get all customers endpoint. So if there are customers available, it is giving us the list of customers with status code 200. But in our response body, it's only showing a customer DTO object type as the response type, but actually it should change to a list of customer DTO types. So we have to update that. In addition to that, we can add one more at API response to denote the 500 internal server error scenario. So we have to modify the at operation to show that scenario as well. So let's look at the next endpoint, that is create a new customer. Here we send the data in the request body of type customer DTO class, and the responses are 201 when customer was successfully created, and it will give the response in the same format of customer DTO class. And when the input is invalid, it will show the status code of 400. So to change these endpoints, to change this documentation to show the correct responses for the delete and get all customers endpoints, I will update the code now. Let me first stop these microservices. In the customer controller, let's go to the get all customers endpoint first. So here we have given the schema as customer DTO.class. Instead of giving this, I will have to add something on top of this. I'm going to enclose this entire part within @array schema annotation. So let me copy this, and I will add one more line, and I will add here array, and then I will add the annotation @array schema, and I will add the parentheses like this, and we need to put this entire part this @array schema, so like this. So I'm going to delete this part, and let me take this into one line, and I will align this like this. And we want to add one more API response, so I'm going to add @API response again with response code of 500, and I will give the description as internal server error. And I will add the content as @content like this. So that's the change we need to do here. Earlier we only had this part, and we added this array and @array schema by enclosing this part. In addition to that, I added this API response to denote the 500 internal server error. Now I'm going to change the API response for the delete endpoint. So we have this 200 response code, description, customer deleted, and we have this content, media type, application / JSON, and in addition to that we have this schema with customer DTO class. So I'm going to remove this part because we don't need this schema, and in addition to that I'm going to change this application / JSON to text plain, And also I will change the description. Customer with past ID deleted successfully. Let me take all this into one line. Let me start this application now. Application started. I will refresh this. First, I will go to the get all customers endpoint. Now here we see a list of customers with 200 status code, and now we see here an array enclosing this uh, response of type customer DTO. Also, the API response 500 internal server error is also showing here now. Let's check the delete endpoint. Now we can see here it is showing the media type as text / plain, and description, we can see that description that we added, and 200 status code, and we no longer see the response of type customer DTO. Similarly, I will add the changes to the other two microservices as well. Next, I'm going to commit these changes to the current working branch, and we'll push the changes to the remote repository. We are in the order manager V8 branch right now. Let me issue the command git status, and let me commit the changes. The changes were pushed to the remote repository. Let's check the remote repository, and we can see the message. And if we go to the order manager V8, we can see the latest message.